Hi, welcome to Hollaboff's Happy Hour. We're going to do Old Fashioned tonight. It's December 2020 here in Calgary and we're back in quarantine. So it's time to learn some more cocktails at home. Old Fashioned is one of my favorites, great for the dark days of December. We're going to start off with some bourbon. I chose Four Roses. I haven't seen it in a while. I did some research. It's gone on and off of the market for the past century. Decided to buy it. Didn't live up to the expectation, but it is affordable. This is a $35 bottle, and you know, when you're making an old fashioned, you don't need to go out and buy a $100 bottle of bourbon. You really just need something basic. Great bourbon. We're going to need some Angostura bitters. A couple cool things about Angostura. It's almost 200 years old. It originated in the town of Angostura. That's no longer the name, in Venezuela. It's now produced in Trinidad and Tobago. Now, the label is way too big for the bottle, and that's been like that since it became a company. And what happened was they sent the wrong dimensions to the label company, and the label company went and printed thousands of labels. And you know, back then they couldn't just reprint, it wasn't really in the budget, so Angostura just went ahead and put them on, and now it's part of their trademark. Over 100 herbs and botanicals. It's really good for you. A lot of people don't know it's 45% alcohol. Best place to buy this, $12 at Safeway. Find it in the tonic aisle. And just to compare, the price of this is about $1.35 an ounce. This is over $3.50 an ounce. I love this stuff. So we're going to need our mixing jar. And right away, we're going to throw a raw sugar cube in there. The reason I like using the cube is you always get the same amount of sugar every time. I don't really love a sweet old fashioned. Often I make it without sugar, but traditional recipe calls for sugar. In old movies, you might see them using water. I think, you know, that recipe is kind of like before the time of commercial ice. So we're going to take that raw sugar cube and cover it in the bitters. I like lots. You want like 5 or 6 for the normal recipe. I literally put like 20 dashes of bitters in there. I love it. Now we need a muddler. And we're going to muddle that sugar cube into a nice paste. Again, if you don't want it too sweet, you can leave like a chunk undissolved in there. That'll make it less sweet. Or you can make 2 old fashions in one jar there, in one mixing vessel. If you don't have one of these fancy jars, you can order it off Alibaba or Amazon. Go down to your local Vine Arts here in Calgary. And a pint glass in a pinch will suffice. So in the restaurant, you're normally going to get a 2-ounce old fashioned. At home, I make mine 3 ounces. So you want to pour that over top without ice. And that's going to allow like the bourbon, the Angostura, and that sugar to like become really good friends. They're going to get all married up in there into a nice liquid. Now we're going to grab some ice. Nice big cubes are great. That Arctic glacier stuff is pretty loose and full of like shards and snow and stuff, so it kind of like over dilutes. And what we want to do is put a lot of ice in here. Now you can see that the ice is higher up than the liquid. That's great. That line there where the liquid is, it's called the wash line. You want to grab your bar spoon. If you don't know how to stir, there's lots of cool videos out there teaching how to stir. Maybe later on in quarantine I'll have a tutorial on how to stir properly. You want to hold it between your thumb and kind of like your middle finger, keeping the back of the spoon against the glass. You're going to stir that 30, 45 times, but more importantly than like the amount of time you're going to stir it for is you're going to see that wash line rise up. And as it rises, it's diluting that, making the bourbon less intense and making the drink a lot more balanced. I'm going to grab a bit more ice for that. So while I was in the freezer, I grabbed a large cube. This was kind of junky plastic, and it was a 6-pack, but it kept ripping as I pulled the cubes out. You want this large cube because once you've reached perfect dilution of the cocktail, you want it to hold that flavor profile for as long as possible. A large cube has less surface area and is going to melt slower and keep that consistency. Again, you can order these online. There's spheres, there's skulls, there's Millennium Falcons. I'm sure you can get a dick-shaped one if you really want. So now we've reached perfect dilution there. Grab your rocks glass, and I harvest these cubes. I've got a bin in my freezer full of them. Drop that in there. You want to put that in before you pour the liquid, otherwise you do the liquid first, you drop the ice cube in, you're going to splash everywhere and it's going to make a big mess. So our old fashioned's ready. Pour that over top. Amazing. Now garnish. You got your orange. Navel orange are the best. They've got that nice thick rind, skin peel, and it's full of essential oils. And that's what we want to get out, is the essential oils. So you're going to face the orange part into the glass, and you're going to give it a pinch. And you can see the oils go in there, layering the drink. And then you want to give that rim with the orange, and that, you know, before the glass even gets to your mouth, you're going to smell that orange. Now, I often, when I'm showing off, will trim it, and that, you know, makes it more photogenic. Give it a twist, throw it in there. You'll often see people light them, right? And that, you know, that probably like helps the essential oils come out of the orange a bit. You want to make sure that you don't burn the orange. That's going to like give that burnt and sulfur taste. So we're just going to hold it there and see if this works. Nice. And that's showmanship. You know, that's flair when you're bartending and you're showing off to your guests. That bit of fire definitely adds. Now, one thing we're missing tonight, which is traditionally my favorite part, is the brandied cherry. I went down to Vine Arts. They were sold out of my favorite brand, the Gannettes, and they're made with real brandy. They're nice and boozy. They add a great profile to the cocktail. But tonight we're going to do without. So there you have it. Super simple, traditional, classic cocktail, the old-fashioned. Cheers. Love it.